Moshpit passion, you know, for the passion of music.
What up? It's John from Babbles. Come check out our bus in Europe. So it's a little bit different than America. It's 2 levels, stairwell there, and so there's a little bit of just being hunched over. Here's our kitchen. We call this the fish piss room because it smells like fish piss sometimes. Whatever fish piss smells like, that's what it smells like. So try and avoid that at all costs. Then you come here. This is just where we Jesus. This is our fridge, but yeah, we don't really use this fridge that much, except for drinks and alcoholic drinks. And yeah, behind you is the TV, and yeah, you know what I mean? Watch movies there. We check the clock when we want to know what time it is. And then I'll show you upstairs, come on. So this is the double-decker area, you know, come on up. And then this is all the bunks for the band and crew and girlfriend. If any member has a girlfriend down or anything like that, they stay in these bunks. There you go, you can cruise down the aisle, check it out. And then you can, this is the back lounge. This is where we kind of really actually watch movies and we play guitar together. Been working on a couple little riffs here and there for the new record back here. So we play acoustic guitars back here, do that stuff. And that's about all you get, really. That's a European tour bus in a nutshell.
Ja, ich hoffe, euch hat dieser kleine Rundgang hier gefallen von Bad Wolfes auf deren aktuellen Tour hier im Tourbus. Und neben mir John.
Hello.
Nice to have you here on the Moshpit Passion YouTube channel. And I would like to know, because some of our viewers know you from Devil Driver, and Devil Driver was more like a traditional metal band with different influences. And now Bad Wolfes is more kind of like, can I use the word modern? Modern metal, let me say, mixing different styles of modern music into this. And I want to know, how was the switch from when you left Devil Driver, creating a new band and creating also this, let me say, modern metal, modern rock music? You remember that?
Yeah. Quitting Devil Driver and starting this band was quite a bit of a journey. It took there's a three or 4 years in there till our first debut, Disobey, came out. So yeah, it was a long process, and I left Devil Driver saying, because I wrote a lot of the music in that band. So I said, whatever I do, I don't want to repeat myself. I just took in some of the other influences that probably just wouldn't have worked out in Devil Driver. So yeah, I was really into, at the moment, like in 2013, like After the Burial, Bring Me the Horizon, stuff like that. So you can hear some of that kind of djenty riffing stuff. Not like Bring Me's djent, but yeah, some of the more poppier rock elements brought into this project for sure. And the goal was, from day one, was basically to have a metal band with really no screaming. It didn't really turn out like that so much. There's still screaming in it, but for the most part, it's a singing band. So goal 1 accomplished there.
What I really like when it comes to the new record, Dear Monsters, is also the songwriting, because my personal view is, if I compare it to the previous record, I see more like a musical red line in there. Of course, you have a new singer. It's also
a musical red line. What does that mean?
It means it's not like you have a cover song like on the debut, like Zombie, for instance. It's like, I don't want to say it's a standalone single, because everybody's saying, hey, tell me a song from Disobey. Everybody would maybe say it's Zombie. And for me, it's like, no, we have so many songs like this. So it's more like how can I say it? Like a red line, more or less. So no song is standing out. It's more like a group of song. I would consider this.
Yeah. I think the goal when we started writing that record, I think, was to make yeah, not everything. Like, there's Disobey, and then there's Zombie and Hear Me Now. It's very jarring. And we started getting, I'd say, more commercial on Nation. And then the Heavy Eaters tracks stood out even more. So I think we just tried to bridge the gap between everything as best we could with this one. Our Dear Monsters, yeah. I think the standout song that's completely different than anything else is Springfield Summer. That one is almost has a country vibe to it. I think when I listen to the whole album, that one stands out to me. Maybe disagreeing with you on that. It's a little strange. It's like, yeah, people are like, whoa, that's a lot of my non-metal fans. I mean, metal friends like that song.
Yeah. And when you are writing songs, do you have also, or maybe over the years, some kind of, let me say, partner in mind that you're saying, hey, I know I need a lead guitar or something like this, I can pick this guy. I need something on the rhythm section, I can take this guy. You know, collaborating with different band members. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's the collaboration internally has grown as the band has gotten older. Whereas the first record was kind of written before most of the members got in. Well, it's weird. Max wrote it with me, then he left. So now Max is back. So when I say that, I mean, he wasn't in the band. So, yeah, I'll feel like we're doing our next record with Joseph McQueen and Josh Gilbert. And I feel that way about Josh Gilbert, especially like, oh, with a vocal line or something, I'll be like, he's going to be perfect to help for this. A gentleman named Brandon Sammons has always been the main actual, like, in the past with writing vocals, a collaborator for the band. He actually wrote like most of the vocals on the first record, not lyrics, but vocals and second, because he was just like the original singer. So, and then internally, yeah, we kind of started writing the next record and we just kind of tore all the walls down.
Yeah.
And so it was the first time me, Max, and Doc were like in a room.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, what do you want to do? Like, we didn't really set any goals of we should do a song like this and we need a song like that. So we just, the first 4 songs that 5 or 6 actually, that we wrote for the record that's coming out is, it's not announced yet, but it's pretty wild.
But you're planning to release a full-length record, not an EP or not singles, because some artists, like I saw Disturbed discuss this last week or something like that, that the next possible album could be just a, let me say, single compilation where they will release.
I don't know. We're gonna we have a contractual, agreement to deliver a certain amount of minutes of music or tracks. So I think we're gonna be obligated to do that. The rollout plan, we are definitely going to do it very different than Dear Monsters. Dear Monsters was rushed because we needed to get past a certain stigma and like get our new singer out there and just go. So there was really no promotion. It was just kind of put out. There was no lead up. It was just, we dropped a single and then the fucking record came out a week after that. And then we just like started touring. So yeah, it's going to be a different rollout plan this time, a little bit more organic and a little slow build and like get some momentum going instead of just dropping it dead on arrival a little bit, not dead on arrival, but yeah. And that'll be fun. But we've talked about it a lot internally, like just as all musicians do. Is the album format dead? I don't know. Doesn't seem to be important anymore, that's for sure.
What I found interesting that you said that the current record was more rushed into it, like a single, then the record came out, and I'm hearing this quite often actually, that people got somehow rushed into records, releasing a record, something like that. The people, they're liking this record, and after a specific time the artist saying, we were not quite confident with this record. But I personally think if there's some kind of pressure on the artist, sometimes it brings the best to the table. You know what I mean? Would you also agree with that?
No. Because there was no pressure to write it. We were writing it. We had plenty of time to write it and fine-tune it. It was just, once that lawsuit that we were in with our previous singer was totally handled, it was like, go. We had the right to release music the whole time. But we wanted to tie up the touring and the name rights and all that stuff. So once we got that settled, it was like, go. And we didn't want to waste any time sitting around. So there was no pressure to, and there's no pressure right now. except for me on the band members, like, because I wanted to get past this album cycle.
Yeah.
I want to call it a day. This album cycle, Dear Monsters, will be over after this tour, and we're going to be recording and finishing. Hopefully, have a finished product by February, and then start the process of launching whatever it is going to be called, which I think we know what it is called too. So we're all pretty excited, actually. Yeah, it feels it feels like we're just gaining more and more of an identity.
Yeah.
With this next record, yeah.
So we released a couple of records before Bad Wolves and now. And do we have an idea of maybe gave us, of course, a small hints. Let me say the promotion campaign of the next record could look like, because usually bands sign a contract and there's like the management side is doing promotion stuff, but some bands are like, okay, we learned from the past some things we weren't happy about, so let's
well, like I said, the record was put out quickly on purpose because we kind of felt that was necessary to move past things. And then this one, you know, we're gonna have meetings about what we should do. I just know that the point is probably like calculate like 4 or 5 songs released before an album even comes out.
Yeah.
You know, because instead of we dropped a record, dropping singles after that and everyone's already heard them, we'd rather drop them with anticipation, having not heard them. You know, and then who knows? Maybe we'll talk to people about even if it becomes an album or not. We'll see. You know.
And for you as a songwriter, let me say the current, how can I say it? The current way of consuming music, is it satisfying somehow that people are more into singles than into records, or is it really like a good way somehow before a record to release, to, let me say, to advertise a record, then it's coming out and then they get the full experience, like also on the artwork layer and music video, everything else.
Like everybody says, when you bought an album back in the day, you had to go find it. It felt earned, and so whether it was that good or not, I mean, you certainly paid attention to it more to make sure you liked it or you didn't like it because you really paid for it and you earned it. Yeah, you know, you took the subway into the city and fucking got it and whatever, you know, or you heard about it and it took you 2 trips to find it and go get it, stuff like that. That's gone. So I can't really describe to you what it's like to just hear, go. And that's how you grew up. So I can't really why are you gonna tell kids like you really need to pay attention? And you know, I used to walk 5 miles in the snow to get to work. What does that matter? They're not gonna relate to it. So it's kind of like it is what it is, and all I do is focus in on making the best music I can. And if my marketing team kills it or drops the ball or we do the best we can, that's kind of all we really fucking can do. You know, like the fans decide if they like it or not.
So usually my last question is, because our magazine is called Moshpit Passion, about the personal Moshpit experience or view of the band standing on a stage. But I want to, let me say, switch the question to a last point about, let me say, finding the holy grail in a record store, going out somewhere and finding a record which you are missing. Do you have any kind of story like you were on tour and you saw a special vinyl pressing of Iron Maiden, Metallica, and you were looking for this?
The two, I'm trying to think. It was Metallica for me. I was always looking for a Metallica album or some sort of single, some sort of vinyl print. So I'm trying to think of the gems. Like, I was in a jazz store in the Red Square in Boston, and just like randomly flipping through things, and Harvester of Sorrow single was there. And at that time in 1992, 3, that was fucking hard to find. Like, it was like urban legend that it, like, you know, this is, you couldn't order it through magazines, and you just knew that it was part of their catalog, but you just couldn't find it. And I was in Kentucky one time in 1991, and I walked in and I was like, "Do you guys have any Metallica?" And the guy was like, I think." And then the lady went and looked for me because I was like a little kid, you know. And she's like, "Oh, we got this CD in Garage Days." And I was like, "What?" Because that one at the time was, I think they only printed like, I don't know, maybe only 1 million copies of it or something. It wasn't everywhere, if you remember that. I don't know how old you are, but finding garage days around 1990 was not easy.
Nice, because do you know the app Discogs? It's similar to eBay. You can put your vinyl records, CD records, and tape records on there.
Discography?
Yeah, right. From every band, every release, every kind of press, completely insane. And that's where I keep my.
I found out about Metallica's discography through the back of a book. The Metallica book that I bought, and it said discography, and it had everything. I was like, all right, well, that's all the shit I got to find. That's my missions. So that's what I based all my shit off. There was, I mean, when I started looking, there was no internet. It's funny to think about.
One last question: how many copies of the new record and colors did you order of Metallica's upcoming record?
Oh, 72 months or seasons? Not one, because my collecting days for the most part with Metallica on like audio stuff is kind of over. I still just the other day I bought a $300 Metallica wherever I'm in Rome t-shirt from like '91. So the memorabilia still gets purchased, but not so much. Like I don't keep up with the new. I stopped buying all the singles and stuff like that probably post like Reload. You know, like right around there. It started because it's just too much. I was like, I'm gonna pass the torch to somebody else here.
Interesting story. So, guys out there, we have a really big Metallica fan here. So maybe next time when you're coming to Europe, you're doing a nice Metallica interview. And very important new record, Dear Monsters, out now. Next record coming maybe next year or
definitely
1.5 year.
New music next year, for sure.
All right, you got it. See you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Moshpit passion, for the passion of the music.